In this video, me and my guest Mason are going to be talking about time management and some tools that can help you better manage your time. Because managing your time, it's just crucial for life. And once you master it, things are going to come much easier to you. Welcome to SGS Insights, where I create a variety of videos. We've got vlogs, we've got a talk show, we've got self-growth videos. Which one of my videos do you think you're about to watch? When it comes to time management, man, the first thing that comes to my mind is really taking the time to really figure out like where you're spending your time. Because once you break that down, you can then figure out, okay, do I have time to do this project? Am I gonna make it on time here? And I found an app that can be very useful for that. It's called Toggle. So you pretty much like start the timer as soon as you start the task. And then once you're done, like it records the whole thing. Because it's so much harder if you're gonna try and to keep track of it yourself, you know what I mean? It's too much work. So if you guys use Toggle, I think it'd be very useful for you. Have you tried like doing a time audit in your life, man?
Definitely. I think I've used a different tool, which is my calendar. That really helps me keep track of a lot of the things going on in my life. I like Toggle, like the app, the convenience of that. That's awesome, because sometimes it's kind of a pain to write everything out by hand. And doing a time audit for me was definitely really important when I got to college rather than high school. So I feel like when I got to college, I had a lot more going on at one time. And so when I actually took the time to sit down and realize what I was doing in a day, I was able to like, you know, actually realize where I was spending most of my time and where I should be adjusting where I'm using my time, basically.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, you're gonna waste a lot of time. And it's more stressful for you too, because you're always gonna be working, because things are not planned. There's no time limit. You're kind of just going at life all vague and foggy.
Right, exactly. You are going at life all vague and foggy, and that's not good a lot of time, because proper preparation will prevent like a bad presentation, so to speak. You know?
100%.
So that's why I like doing it. I mean, there's definitely like an upside of being able to adjust and go with the flow throughout your daily life, but you still need some structure, so you're not wasting anything.
That baseline, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like with my videos right now for the talk show, I have somewhat of an outline. It's not strict, man.
Right.
Like we can deviate a little, but it's something. Like something's better than nothing.
Exactly. Something is better than nothing. You need to have some sort of structure, otherwise you're kind of you're just going with the flow. You're going with the wind. You know? So that's definitely really important.
And one other thing too, for time management is like to set a timer like between the tasks. So you work for a bit and then take a break. There's a famous technique called the pandora technique. And essentially you work for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break. You do that 4 times, and after that you take a much longer break between 30 to 40 minutes. Me personally, I use a technique similar. So I will study for like 40 minutes, man, and then I'll take a 25-minute break. So like my interval of studying is much higher and my break is longer. It's much better for me because I can get a lot more done. But the one I just mentioned to you guys, it'll be very useful too. Have you tried using like anything like that in your life, man?
I think like unknowingly, I definitely do that. So I've never set a timer to set like 30 minutes on and then like 10 minutes off. But I have heard about the Pandora technique. But what I do is I will work on a project for a period of time, most likely around like 30 minutes. And then I start to feel a little tired, a little mentally drained. And that's when I take a step back, push away from my desk, and I just breathe. I may go to the kitchen and get something to eat or drink, or I may play video games for 10 minutes. It's just something. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go back and be productive again.
That's awesome. Like you really based it like on your mental state. So like you're very observant.
Right, exactly. Being observing, self-aware of how your body and mind is actually feeling in that moment, because you got to recognize when you've done too much. Otherwise, you're not going to do your best work. You know, you're just going to keep typing away at something, like beating a dead horse, and it's not going to be what you want it to be. You know.
I like that. I like how you mentioned that productivity goes down, and that's just so true, man. Because you're drained. Like the creative thoughts not really come into your mind as well. And like I found like in my own life too, like when I fail to kind of have some sort of a structure like that, where I'm getting efficient breaks, I'm more stressed out. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay around and be lazy.
Right, exactly. And that's what it causes, man. If you don't have that structure to like, be like, okay, I'm gonna go do this right now. You're just gonna, what are you gonna do? You're just nothing. Right? You're gonna be sitting there being lazy.
Pretty much.
And like, that's okay. You should be able to be lazy sometimes. And that's like what I feel like this structure allows you to do. It allows you to be lazy in times where you feel like you've earned it. You feel comfortable doing that. And that's what I think definitely, for me, my calendar, writing it out and doing those things day to day and feeling productive helps me feel better about playing video games.
That's awesome, man. That's great.
For sure.
And with a calendar, planning, and all that, it's going to be different for everyone. So I really think it's good for people to really try and see, do I like a weekly schedule, a daily schedule, a monthly schedule, or do I like things planned all the way out?
Right.
Like that's crucial because perhaps like maybe we're only hearing you can only have a weekly schedule, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like if you experiment like with the different things, I think we all can find what's best for us.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. I think there's a variety of different tools and ways to do it, and I feel like each different way works better for a certain person. So I think it's valuable to explore all the different options that are out there.
And
Definitely.
you've mostly only used the calendar option.
I've used the calendar in the past, and I like to use reminders on my phone too for certain tasks that I have upcoming. And one thing I want to mention when I write out my day, or I do it weekly on my calendar. I do my classes, and then I do my practices, and that's all I do. And then in between, that's like my floating time, so to speak. And that's when I'm talking to my friends. I'm involving different relationships that I think are important to address. I'm also eating, I'm drinking. You know, you got to think about those aspects too, because if you don't do those things and you just like are so worried about what you have written on the calendar, you're gonna forget about all the other things you got to do.
That's very true.
Right?
It's a fine balancing act, and it's tricky, man. Like I see why people kind of fall off.
Yeah, 100%. I think exercise really helps keep your mind right when going through this stuff, because in my case, I'm waiting to exercise until the end of my calendar day, so to speak, right? It's after my classes, it's after I've eaten breakfast and lunch, then I got my workout. And I think that's valuable because I may have built up stress throughout the day, and then I go and I relieve it at practice, you know, doing physical exertion. And then I come home, I'm able to be mentally focused on the schoolwork that I need to do.
That's very smart, man. Like you have that reward in there, and also like you're realizing like when you're most focused, because it's almost important to do tasks that are hard, like when you're most focused. And the fact that you took the time and realized I go to the gym, I'm more focused, I do schoolwork, then that's huge.
Definitely, yeah, 100%. And after that, after I do my homework where I feel like I'm most productive, that's the time to decide whether I want to play video games or if I want to go to sleep. Because sleep, I think, is so crucial and important to doing anything. I've known people that in my life that have sleeping issues and they're not able to sleep for like maybe a day, and they don't get any sleep for 2 days. And it causes a spiral. You know, you start to lose all, you know, perception of like where you are, like what you need to do, how things actually are like around you. So if you're able to focus on that and be like, all right, I did all this today, I may have an hour for leisure. Or no, you may want to go to sleep so the next day you can be ready
100%
to go. You know?
Yeah, like I think that's huge, and sometimes I run into that problem too. I have a lot of work to do, but I'm kind of lacking in sleep, and it's like, what do I do first? But I think your way is right. Get sleep, you're more energized, you can actually tackle that stuff more efficiently.
Right, definitely. And in your case, you're a psychology major, so I'm sure you have a lot of readings. You probably have a lot of like meat and potatoes, so to speak, to get through. So you're probably up late at night needing to do those things, but so sometimes you can't get sleep. It feels like you can't do it, but finding ways to balance it and using techniques of planning out your day, I think, can help.
100%. Like again, like the interval studying, that stuff is just awesome. Like the calendar, it all keeps you on track. The time audit, like if you incorporate all those things into your life, it's gonna help so much.
Definitely, 100%. It'll help, because a lot of people, when they say I can't do something, I can't do this, I don't have time for that. Have you actually sat down to write out what you've been doing? You know, that's a question you got to ask yourself. Like, am I actually understanding what I'm doing during a day, or am I just thinking that I can't? Because the first step to knowing that you can is recognizing what you've been doing. You know, I think that's something that's really important.
Exactly, like having some sort of a baseline, it is huge. It'll take you a long way, and it'll keep you more connected to yourself too now, because you know where your time is going, like you know like what you need to do. You know if you can take certain commitments or not, because if you don't have like a time audit of what you're doing, people are gonna throw all these commitments at you, and you're gonna take it, and then it's gonna be awful.
Right, exactly. You can't overload yourself like that by taking on these commitments, and it's definitely easy to do that if you don't have like a calendar or some way. It doesn't have to be a calendar. Some way of knowing how you're spending your time. It's really important. And for me, in your case, when we have a track meet on Saturday and we know that we're going to be exerting ourselves like a lot, you got to take that into consideration. Maybe go to bed early the night before or do something differently to prepare for that.
Prep work, that's awesome.
yeah, any sort of prep work that you can do moving forward will help you in whatever situation you're going into.
Wow, I really like that, man. Yeah. We definitely discussed a variety of great things about time management, and I really hope the audience will pull some of that meaningful stuff out.
Definitely. Thanks, Rolando.
Yeah, anytime, man. This was the end of the video. I really hope you guys got a lot of value from it, because we really tried to share information about time management that you can use in your own life so that you can be more productive and accomplish more things. I create a lot of videos along these lines. You guys should definitely check them out. They're going to pop up here. And yeah,